Hi, I'm Tori Kelly, and you're listening to Main Pod Girl.
Fun fact, the first time we ever did that was with you 3 years ago.
Wait, I was the first one to say
You were the
that?
first one, yeah.
That's
Isn't
cool.
that crazy? Hey, welcome to Main Pod Girl, a podcast made by Popheads for Popheads. Every episode, we'll be diving into all kinds of pop culture topics with some of our favorite artists and music commentators. I'm your host, AJ Marks. And this episode is so truly special to me because I have one of my favorite guests returning to the podcast today. She's a songwriter, world-class vocalist, producer, voice actress, and author, having collaborated with Ed Sheeran, Justin Bieber, Pharrell Williams, Dan and Shay, Pentatonix, Lecrae, and JoJo. Her debut album, Unbreakable Smile, debuted at #2 on the Billboard charts, and she was nominated for Best New Artist at the Grammys. She later went on to win 2 other Grammys, and she voices Mina in the Billion Dollar Sing franchise. Here to talk about her new album, God Must Really Love Me, the one and only Tori Kelly.
Wow, that's been 3 years because
Yeah.
we were just talking about the last album,
We weren't even
weren't
talking about the
we?
album. We were talking about Missing You. That was the only
But
song
the
that was
only thing
out.
out.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That's
So we have
so
lots to catch up on.
23. Yeah, yeah, we do. We do.
All right. So let's start off with what we're listening to.
What I'm listening to, I'm gonna pull up Spotify because I always forget what I listen
I have to do that
to.
too.
Okay, so right now, heavy rotation is the swag albums, plural, both.
Yes.
J
Do you have
Beebs.
a preference on which one?
No, actually, I think they're both really good. They feel like they just go together. I
Yeah.
feel like I have fave songs on both.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely Bieber album. Let's see what else is on here. I was rocking the gospel classics Spotify playlist. A lot of good throwbacks in there. We got Shackles by Mary Mary, I Smile, Kirk Franklin. I was just having a great time one morning with my son. We were rocking out to all of the OG gospel songs.
Love that.
Yeah, I feel like both very much in heavy rotation right now. What about you?
I'm in a different sort of pocket, I think. Not too different, but I've been really loving the Kalani album.
Oh,
So
so
good.
good. Yeah.
So
I was
good.
listening to that too, yeah.
And Flow, the Therapy at the Club song that they have,
Oh, wait, I'm
which
behind.
you would expect it to be
I
this
need
big
to,
banger because of the title, but it's
yeah.
actually down tempo.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm literally gonna type it in just to remind myself to listen. I'm so behind sometimes with like people putting out things. There's so many people are putting out music all the time these days, so I'm like, I can't keep up. But certain people like Flow, I need to make sure I'm
T- Front of
on
the line.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Because I love them. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to that. How fun.
Yeah, but getting into your album, right?
Yeah. So
God
let's make
Must
this
Really
about
Love
me.
Me. Yes. Let's make this about you now.
Let's go
Well,
back to
because I
me.
have so many questions, right? So this is all
Yeah.
about the 3 pillars of your life: faith,
Yes.
marriage, and motherhood.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if we know too much else about it just yet and like what to expect. Is this a bit less experimental R&B than the last project?
Mm. So yeah, I guess like lyrically you hit it on the nose, which the three pillars of the album, faith, motherhood, marriage, and I think sonically, I would say this album overall sonically leans more in the direction of like R&B soul. A lot of like I took a lot of influence from what I grew up on, which is a lot of like Indy Irie is a big influence for me. Lauryn Hill is a big influence for me. So I feel like you can kind of hear that inspiration.
Would it be fair to expect like a
Mhm.
back to basics album?
Like, are you talking about Christina Aguilera, Back to Basics? Why did I
No,
immediately
but
think
also
that?
I love that album. That would be
Me
crazy
too.
from you. That would be
Like, wait,
insane. Wait, hold on. Maybe we need to wake that up. No, but like
that's the first thing I
back to
thought
the
of.
Tori Kelly basics.
Yes, yes, yes. Back to the literal basics.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, yeah, I do think in some ways like my last album was that too, though, because I
Mhm.
was that was more of it was like a tribute to my younger self because I grew up, in the early 2000s. Like you really hear the influence of that era on that last project. With this album, it's just another side of me. So I think it's definitely going back to my roots in the sense of maybe like what people even maybe know me for, how they discovered me, which was like, the first two EPs that I put out were, I think, a little bit more sonically probably in this direction. It's a lot more like acoustic elements, live instruments, a lot of like, I don't know, just like really feel good songs. And I think with this album, I didn't want to, like, I'm always a vocalist at heart. I think I can't run from that, but I did really try to not overthink anything on this project, and whatever was just coming out like the day of while we were writing the song, I just sort of let all of those like imperfections and like weird layers. I just kept all of that. So I didn't overly edit myself. And that's something that was new for me on this album because I wanted to just capture the feeling and capture like the story that I was trying to tell without doing too much. Like I wanted to kind of keep it just simple. And I mean, there's definitely some songs where I'm like giving you the vocals,
Mm-hmm.
because like I said, I can't run from that. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, I'm kind of like cruising on this one, which maybe is like a new mom energy of mine. I don't know.
New mom energy. I'm
Yeah,
cruising.
I'm cruising through life.
Yeah, so like from the singles, right? It doesn't seem
Hmm.
like this is like a hiding place style like worship album as much.
Hmm.
And like with that in mind, was there any hesitation in putting God in the title for fear of like maybe misrepresenting the sound of the album?
That's a good question. Honestly, the title of the album came to me because was the God Must Really Love Me was just a song on the album. I was like, oh, this would be a cool song just to include.
Mm.
And the way that the song idea came was I was just driving on my way to a session, and this was like my son was already born and I was just in a really like highly just concentrated place of inspiration, if that makes
Mm.
sense. Like it was just like so much inspiration hitting me at once. And so I was driving and I was literally just thinking about my son, and I started smiling so big because I was just thinking about him and thinking about just my life. And I was like, wow, I'm so blessed. Like I just felt this huge burst of gratitude. And I just said out loud in the car, I was like, man, like God, you must really love me. Like, and it was a little bit like, there's a smile with that. It wasn't, it was just like, I was just so full of gratitude. And that's just like what came out. And then when I said it, I was like, ooh, that kind of sounds like a song. Like I could see
Yeah.
other people saying that, like, God must really love me. And so it came from a very real place, and then I got to the studio and then we sort of like fleshed it out and turned it into what you hear now, and then that turned into, oh, this would be a great way to like open the album, because when I think of all of these songs, when I like took a step back and just looked at this body of work, I was like, gratitude is a huge feeling that I get when I listen to these songs. It's like peace, gratitude, just like thankful for the little things in life, and just there's a big sense of like joy too for me when I hear these songs. That's the place that I was in when I wrote them. And so it went from just a song to then this should be the intro to then like last minute being like, okay, wait, this just the title of the album, because
Mm.
this is kind of the place that I'm in. Like I just want I would want people to say that themselves after they hear these songs. Like I want them to say like God must really love them. So it felt like this cool phrase too that just I could visually see it. And I felt like it just represented this album really well. And so I guess to answer your question, since I didn't just now at all, to answer your question, yeah, there wasn't really a fear at all. And I think it kind of, I feel like in general, there hasn't been any fear with this project. I think usually there are some nerves with putting out any music. So I'm like, oh, I wonder what people are gonna think, or how are they gonna perceive it, or I hope, like, even I've in the past let myself maybe get wrapped up in like, oh, I want it to chart, or like I wonder how it's gonna do, like success wise. Like I hope people connect with it, this and that. and yeah, at the end of the day, obviously I want, I hope people connect with my music, but I think this album feels so different because I kind of like don't, it's like, it really feels like it's for me too. That like
Mm.
it, like I almost like don't care if, uh, if people have like certain opinions about it or like they hate on it or whatever. It's kind of like, I just feel so sure about it. Like this is who I am. These are the things I care about. Kind of like take it or leave it. And I feel like that is a mark of this new chapter that I'm stepping into. Like that's kind of how I feel, not just with my music, but just in life. I feel like that's kind of the person I've maybe it's like getting older too. Like I'm
Mm.
33 now. I'm just kind of like this is me. Like I can't
That's where
please
the music ends
everybody.
up being the best too. It's like when
Yeah,
you're
I think
so
so.
sure and you're not trying to like placate your fans
Hmm.
or the label or what
Hmm.
you think would be in the mainstream. And like some
Totally.
of the songs on your last album was kind of the opposite, where it was like they were a bit left of center and maybe not what
Mm,
people were typically expecting from Tori Kelly. Even if that is like what you had inside of you the whole time, it's maybe
yeah.
something that people were like, oh. So which song were you most nervous or excited about releasing on that project?
Ooh, I mean that album is like you said, that was a little bit, it felt comfortable for me because that was so, that's like me as a kid. Like that's all the sounds that I loved and I grew up dancing and I wanted to give like 12-year-old Tori her like pop girly pop star album kind of moment.
Yes.
And so but yeah, to your point, I think, people, maybe some people were a little like surprised by that because they didn't know I had that inside of me, which was made me want to like show it even more because I was like, oh, you guys don't even know that I have this side. So that whole chapter was super fun, and I'll always, I think I'll always take every album I put out. I feel like I sort of add, like I bring along, that girl sort of like with me into the next era,
Yeah.
like so that she's not going nowhere. But yeah, I think as far as like being nervous to put the songs out, the last album I probably was there was a little bit more like, ooh, I wonder, how people are gonna receive this because it was so different from anything people had seen from me. So probably yeah, right out the gate, like Missing You was like
Really?
I love that song so much, but I think it just marked, it was like the start of the era. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, here we go. And also it's worth noting, I think when I sit on music for a long time, then I like that leaves more room for like overthinking and thoughts to come in and like
Mm.
I think with this album, this is the first time that I literally just wrote these songs. Like this was in I mean, I was collecting songs all last year, but then I really finished it in January when I had a 2 month old. And like
Wow.
it just happened in like 2 weeks. It was just so concentrated. All the songs just like came out of me so effortlessly. And now we're here and it's already coming out. And so I feel like I still very much relate to all these songs. Like I'm not even just
Mm.
relate, like this is my life. Like I'm still
Yeah.
inside of the songs.
It feels like a
So
halo when you have that like level of inspiration, just
yeah.
kind of like you, it's just like that temporary halo that you're just like you're walking down the street and you'll think of a melody, like you're taking a shower,
Totally.
like anytime your
Yeah.
mind is silent from social media or like a conversation,
Hmm.
even in conversations, I feel like
Hmm.
song titles just pop into my head, or melodies. Like I'll just be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm taking a shower right now. I'm waiting for my conditioner to seep in. Let me just start with whatever the first melody comes to my
Yes.
head. And then it ends up being really good. And I'm like, well, shoot, now I'm going to have to go outside of the shower and get
Right.
my phone so I can record it before I forget it.
Oh no, you got to
Like I,
bring the phone in. You got to do the phone to the shower
well, that's
thing.
that's
Yeah.
usually what I do, and then you just can't hear me. But like sometimes when you're sleeping and you wake up in the middle of the night and you record
Yeah.
something, and then you listen to the next morning, you go, "What was that?"
Right. Mine is like at dinner. Mine's always at like a dinner, and I'll be like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and I'll just be in the bathroom, like, oh yeah, like singing into my phone. But no, I hear you though.
You've also been so good with the segues here. You're doing all the work for me, basically. because my next question was if each of your albums were friends in a friend group, what would their
Oh my gosh.
personalities be? And you were talking about Tori being like the little pop girly.
Yeah, that's
So if each of them
crazy.
were friends in a friend group, if they were the
Yeah.
brats or
Oh my gosh.
like what friend would they each be?
It sounds like a fun friend group, honestly, when I'm thinking back of like all my projects. Whoa. I think so yeah, the last era, yeah, she would be she's a little like she's like the spunky, sort of like confident love she loves like a good night out. She's trying to go
Always has
have
plans.
fun. She always
Mm,
has plans, yeah. And she's just like super fun. I think more well, it's interesting because the last album I feel like had multiple personalities inside of that album too.
yeah.
But yeah, I think for the most part though, it was like, pop star energy, performer, like, always performing, always dancing. I think that's her. Was inspired by true events before it? No. I'm skipping an
I
album. No,
think
it's because
so.
COVID messes me up. Because I did a
Wait.
Chris.
No, yeah, because you had the wait,
Yeah.
hold
Does
on.
Christmas count? Do we care about her?
Christmas can count. You're right, it is inspired by true events. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was Christmas that was messing me
Christmas
up.
she can be there, but she's just like always singing Christmas songs and it's like, girl, and just always like festive and just she's doing the most. Yeah, inspired by true events. She's she would be kind of like the emo, like
Mm,
super introverted, like sad girl, like cool to be around, but she's just a little more like, hey guys,
always
okay,
having
what's
deep
up?
chats.
Always having deep chats, yeah. But
Yeah.
also like not also like pretty quiet, like not even necessarily wanting to go into it too much because I think that era I
Mm,
wasn't like healed yet. I was singing about everything, but I was very much in the thick of it.
mm.
Um Before that would have been our gospel hiding place girly. She always has a word. She always has something inspirational to say, something uplifting. She's trying to like be there for her friends. I mean, yeah, I think that would be her personality.
She's good with the
Definitely.
Instagram captions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's got the one-liners,
Yes.
she's always like dropping wisdom. And then before that, wow, we're already at Unbreakable Smile. She's kind of like the young, like she's kind of got this like innocent, like maybe a little naive thing going on. Like she's down for a good time, but she's just like she's maybe looking for someone else to like lead the group.
Yeah.
She's like like she's following along a little bit because like that in my mind
The
that
baby
era
of the group.
represents
Yeah.
she's the baby. Yes, like it just represents for me like she had just no idea what was going on. She was just like
Yeah.
going with the flow. Definitely like, loved all she knew what she was doing as far as like putting together the songs that she loved for the album and stuff, but I think she was maybe pulled in a lot of different directions because it was just such a whirlwind. It's like I think any artist's debut album is like, what the heck is going on? So
Yeah.
that's how I picture her. Just like figuring it out.
I think if they're in a sorority, Tori is her big and
Yeah.
Unbreakable Smile's her little.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I'm trying to think where it's hard to talk about the current album while I'm still like in the middle of it, because I'm
Yeah.
sure in hindsight I'll be like, oh, this was her. She's probably well, actually, no, it's obvious. She's the mom of the group. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, she's like taking care of everybody and she's like, all right, guys, yeah, she's like the chaperone
I
for
love that. That's
everybody.
the mom of the group. That's so cute. Because I was thinking the person in the group who is the mom when you said that, but then I'm like, no, she is also the mom of the group. Like, that's such a
Yeah.
good way to put it.
It's just her
Yeah.
personality is giving that. She's like caring and yeah, like motherly vibe.
I love that. That's so sweet. So, going back to the questions, right? When I was coming up with these questions, I
Hmm.
was thinking a lot about like the learning process, right? Like, we learned so much from all the blessings and the punches life throws at us. And I
Yeah.
think specifically about that lyric, mistakes can be miracles in disguise. So I have a few questions about like learning, right? So
Yeah.
you've spoken about how the Tori album rollout, you had been paying more attention to the visuals and the choreo, and
Hmm.
you bring that girl with you now. What have you learned from honing in on the elements that dress up the music for this album?
Ooh, I love that. Yeah, the last era, I feel like I've said the word era so many times, but I guess at this point in my career, it's the only way to really refer to it. Because there's more than just an album, you know, you really do step into like this whole world that you build. That's the fun part about being an artist. And I think the last album was the first time I really like open that door because I would always just forget about that part. I still in this way. I'm always going to be like mu music first, you know, vocals first, music. That's what it's about, right? I'm a musician, and so I focus so heavily on that that when it's time to put out the music, I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just let you guys figure this out and I'll just be over here. You know, and I kind of have let people give creative input and not because I you know, thought that their way was best necessarily. It was just kind of like I said, I would just kind of forget and I would think that um, you know, I just didn't have the ideas for that. So on the last album was the first time I worked with like a real creative director and she was just so incredible at like coming alongside of me and um, you know, we like thought of the music video ideas and just even like outfits and you know
Mm,
this award show what should I wear and do my hair like she would make these mood boards and stuff we would talk about like socials and just even like color palettes like that's how like purple became the you know the kind of theme
I
like I
love
had
the
never
purple.
it was so fun. Like I had never, even like the Y2K theme, like I had never really latched on to visuals like that and just how
Mm.
you present something. So I had so much fun doing that. I think because it was my first time really doing that, I can look back and be like, okay, that was cool. And now that I have that knowledge, I can really like fine tune things and be like, okay, this, you know, let's try this now and let's you know, present it in this way when we were doing like the album cover for this project, you know, I myself then started making the mood boards because I learned from her like how to do it. And I, you know, had all this like inspo on there. I had the color palette on there. I had this is
Did
what I
you
think I
pick the
should
red?
wear.
Because that shade of red I
Yeah,
think is so beautiful for this music.
thank
Like
you.
I'm a synesthete, so I just like it's
Yeah, yeah.
important to me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I definitely had like a color palette, like for, you know, that I kind of gave and was like, stay within, you know, this vibe.
Mm.
Very like earthy tones. I knew I wanted, you know, guitar in it. I just started like I love mood boards. I love like just throwing all my ideas in one place and then I can, you know, edit from there. But yeah, it felt really good to kind of take the reins on that and just know from the start, honestly, even before the music was done, like last year. I had a few songs here and there, but I was basically building the creative for everything before the music was done. And that was also something new for me. I hadn't done that, but it
Mm.
was just so obvious to me, like what it needed to be, what this next era needed to be. So yeah, I guess I would say I learned a lot from the last album as far as, you know, how I want to present the music once it's done.
I love that. And continuing on the learning journey, I'm
Hmm.
not sure to what extent you believe in like Saturn return, and I'm like a little
Ooh.
less into like the astrology side of things, but I do
Hmm.
believe that like between like 27 and 31, 32, I feel like we all just learn so much,
Yeah.
and I'm in the
Yeah.
throes of that now.
Yeah.
What's the biggest life lesson from that time in your life?
Dang. So would I technically be I don't know much about it to be honest, but I'm
I
sure
don't either.
there
I think
it's
it's
that
people have different definitions. I think it's just like
yeah.
late
It's like when you
20s,
turn
early
30.
30s.
Oh, so I
Yeah.
would be like exiting it right now if I'm like
Yeah.
33, right?
Over the
Ooh,
hump.
yeah, I'm over the hump. That kind of I feel that. That makes sense to me because I think there is, when I look at that time, yeah, there is definitely I feel like it was me just sort of like owning who I am though. I think that's the biggest thing for me was my 20s were a lot of, experimenting and um just yeah, trying different things, I guess, like when it came to putting out music. And if I mean my fans know this about me, I have well, not just my fans. I feel like if you know if you know me, you know that I've done a lot of different genres over the years. And some might say that's like, wow, pick a lane. But I kind of started to look at it as like a cool thing that I'm able to sort of hop around and not be tied down to like one specific genre, or like be known for a specific thing. I think my voice has sort of been like the compass or like the glue that makes it all make sense in my brain. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I guess stepping into my 30s, everything it's just like more clarity, I think. Like, okay, this is who I am. This is what I know I'm good at. This is what I love. Let's like chip away all the extra fluff and just like focus on the simplicity of just who I am. I think we talked about earlier the three pillars, right? It's like my faith, my husband, stepping into motherhood. I used to think that those three things defining me is was like not enough. Like that's like boring. That's not what pop stars are about. That that you got to have some kind of drama or some kind of like thing that is like a wow factor that people can talk about whatever it is. And I think I found myself getting caught up in that, kind of subconsciously. It wasn't like a super, it wasn't like in the forefront of my mind, but I think
Mm.
somewhere deep down, I didn't think that like a simple life was made sense with the industry that I'm in.
Yeah.
And I think I'm kind of honing in on, I think, the question or the answer to your question now, because that really has been the biggest change, I think, was allowing myself to be like, you know what? Screw all that. Like, this is actually who I am. And I'm just gonna like plant my flag here because trying to be anything else is just exhausting and no one has time for that. And so my art is one thing. I think I'm always going to be expressing myself in the way that I want. That's like I said, the fun part about being an artist. But I think like my actual life, it feels so like it just feels so good, like so stable and like healthy and just, I'm just really grateful for where I'm at. I feel like a lot of peace right now. And I think
Mm.
ultimately you can hear that in the music, I would hope. But
I
does that
was just
answer your
about to say
question? I
stable
feel
and healthy
yeah,
totally come through
yeah.
with the album
Just
cover,
crazy
with the
concepts.
music, like stable and healthy. Like, and you're a person first and a pop star second. Like that is
Yeah.
always the most important thing to remember sometimes
Yeah. The
is
word
just
pop
like,
star is also just like
yeah.
funny to me. I don't know if I don't know if I consider myself a pop star necessarily, but I mean, yeah, it's
I
just
would
like a
consider you a pop star, but
well,
also,
thanks.
yeah, but also it's like, it's kind of a word that means a bunch of different things to a bunch
I
of different
know.
people.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's,
true.
it
That's
would
true.
make, it would make sense if you were like, I'm not one, and other people were like, no, you are one. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
depends on your definition. But also to your point about genres, my favorite artists, I think almost unanimously, all my favorite artists are the genre hoppers. Like that's something that Kesha
Ooh.
does. That's something that Miley does. Something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I've been a huge like Fergie fan for a long time. Mary J.
Love,
Blige, even though she
love.
like seared a lane in R&B. I mean,
Yeah.
like if you look at like all her inspirations are rock music, and
Whoa, I didn't know
so
that.
she's a huge Led
Sick.
Zeppelin fan. That's like her favorite band.
Same. That's awesome.
So yeah, so I think having all of those different genres, and kind of like holding a mirror and just tilting it at different angles to have
hmm
different inflections of different inspirations. I think that's kind of the strongest thing you can do as an artist.
Mm,
But
I love that.
I also believe it's so important not only to learn from what life brings us, but also those
Mhm.
around us. What have you learned from your artist friends and their careers that inform decisions in your own career?
There's a few people that come to mind. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna like name drop here.
Go for it.
I feel like, when I think of my friendships with like Jacob Collier, uh he comes to mind because I think he something I've learned from him is kind of what we're talking about. Like he's just so unapologetically himself and he's like not trying to edit himself at all. But also I think what comes to mind, a lot of my friends in the industry, I think, have stuck around as friends because we're so like there's this I think they're so like I'm trying to wow, my brain is doing a weird thing where I'm trying to word this the right way. Like, how do I explain?
All good.
There's so many thoughts in my head when I think of these people because they're so insanely talented, but also are just like so awesome as people. And I think that is, I can't speak for them, but it seems like that's a something that's way more important than their careers, I guess. Like that just
Mm,
being like a good friend, being there for people, being kind. Like I think of JoJo is another one that
yeah.
I know she's been on the show. Like we
A
have
couple
become
times. I love her.
I'm
She's just the
obsessed.
best.
I'm obsessed. Like we've become really, really close over the years and we've known each other since we were kids, but with her, like she is just so encouraging and so supportive of people around her. Like I always see her in the comment section of like someone singing, she'll be like, yes, like she's so
But
supportive of
yes,
everybody. And
she's the
I'm
first
like,
person to comment
yeah,
on anything on Instagram.
yeah, but I
So
love that
funny.
because she's been around. I just think there's something weird about this industry that makes you feel like you have to be in competition with each other. And maybe it's like more so probably between women too. Like there it feels like there's this
Mm,
thing kind of put on us and this unspoken thing and it's really awesome to have these like female friendships and male friendships too, but just like have these, this community of artists that's sort of like, no, we want to just like be supportive and actually hang out. And one of my favorite things actually is when I'm hanging out with an artist friend and then like the fact that we can actually just hang out and no content has been made or no
yeah.
selfie has been taken, no song has been written. Like it's this moment that I'll have like, oh, we're just hanging out as people, as friends, and like we're not even documenting that this happened. And I know it sounds kind of silly, but I think like you get in that mindset of like, oh, if I'm with this person, like we should share with the world that we are together, and then that'll be good for like our careers or whatever it is, which is totally fine. And I've like obviously done that, but I think there's sort of this layer of friendship that I think is really cool. I have it with JoJo. I have like you could say Jacob Collier. I'll name drop Ed Sheeran in there because he's just like so down to earth and so chill and normal. Alessia Cara, I was just texting with. Like there's just this really cool this cool network of yeah, my artist friends. I feel like we can just talk about anything. And we're all getting to the age too, I think, where I have these friends in this band called Lawrence who are amazing.
Yes. So
They
good.
they're so good and they're like so smart. Like they're genius level smart and they do everything themselves and they're like their own tour manager and their own like they're in the budgets and like the behind the scenes like the business side of things and they've been really cool just to talk to about stuff because I think artists are starting to come together and be like, hey, this is maybe like a flaw in the industry that we've all just like gotten used to. Like is this like
Mm.
what are you guys doing to figure this out, or what does your team setup look like, or I think we're all kind of like taking things into our own hands as we're like getting older, which has been cool to have people to bounce things off of. Anyway, I feel like I'm like rambling now about my
No, this is
friends because I
great.
get so
Like,
excited.
it's just funny how that works. It's like funny that it took so long for you and JoJo to have like a collab together. By the way, was not disappointed. Love that song.
Thank
Um,
you.
but it's something that I was telling both you and her on this
Hmm.
show that I was like, I would love to see it. All right. And I know there are a lot of people invested in that friendship, but it's lovelier to know, like, just as a person, it's like we can always get to somewhere where it's like, I'm not Tori Kelly, the artist, and you're not JoJo, the artist. It's like we're
Yeah.
just
We can like
like
put that to the
Victoria and
side for a
Joanna, or
sec.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
However
Yeah,
you want to
it's
put
like
it.
it's cool when you can kind of like step in and out of it.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I'm not saying at all like, oh, we should like never, talk about music or like never
totally.
sing together and post about it. Like, it's us sort of like putting on that hat and then being like, okay, let's do a collab. And it's cool to also like she was just literally over at my house, like meeting my baby, and just we got dinner, and it was like I just had this moment. I was like, this is so cool because we're like actual friends, and I think there's not many people who can like relate to our lifestyle and the starting so young and being in the industry and like being a woman and trying to figure stuff out. So I'm really grateful for our friendship. And then my friendships with other artist friends. AJ Raphael is another one that comes to mind. Like we can easily dip in and out of like musician mode to just like friend mode. It all kind of
Yeah,
goes together. So yeah, I think I'm at a age and a place in my life now where it's just I don't have time for anything but real real friendships with with that where we can get deep and we can like be there for each other. And um yeah, I just that's how it's got to be. And I need
yeah.
the
It's like everything else
authenticity.
is exactly everything
Yeah.
else is like, we're blessed to like be self-sufficient in that career mode to the point where it's
Hmm.
like, okay, well, everything else is like my main priority is like
Hmm.
person first. Like I
Yeah,
said, like just like
totally.
human first, pop star second.
I love
And
that. Yeah.
finally, what's
That's a good
finally
Instagram bio.
human first, pop star second. Actually, I do love that.
So
That eats.
good.
That's so funny actually. Finally, what's something new that we'll learn about Tori Kelly this era?
Mm. I mean, other than me being a mother, a literal mother, I think you'll learn, man, that's a tough one because I kind of feel like I'm learning about myself right now in this era kind of thing. Like I'm
So it'll be a
learning.
retrospective, like
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah,
only be
like
able to see it in hindsight.
I think so because I mean I'm only 6 months into this mom thing, right? So
Mm.
I can feel myself changing, but I also don't feel that different. It's I mean, not to sound redundant, but it's kind of like what we were talking about where yeah, I feel like myself, but just like a more realized version, or there's like more clarity or just more like owning what I'm about. So I think I'm sort of getting to know that version of myself.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like who am I as a mom? Like there's some days I just like put him to bed, and then I'm like looking at the little baby monitor, being like, wait, that's my son? Like what the heck? Like
Yeah.
that, who is that? Like what are
That's
we
something I've been having
doing?
with Liv so much recently is she's like, yeah, so this like human that I created is just in my
It's
arms.
it's
And it's
so
like
weird.
as they get older, it's so weird. They just get cuter.
He's so
You
cute.
wouldn't think it, but like,
Yeah, I know. They start as little like
yeah,
aliens, kind of.
they do. They start
Like,
as little aliens, but then they
yeah.
get really, really
Oh my
adorable.
gosh. And then
Like
they get like
impossibly
chunky
adorable.
rolls. Yeah.
Yeah. My gosh. I could literally like I was not like a total baby person. Like I didn't have anything against children. Like I love but like babies specifically,
Nothing
I didn't
against
know
you.
anything about babies.
I feel you.
And now
Yeah.
I'm just like anytime I guess because
Yeah.
a lot of my friends now are like having kids, like
Yeah.
anytime someone talks about children, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could talk about
Eh,
this forever. You
that's
know what I
awesome.
mean?
Wait, I love
Are you
that. No,
feeling the
I,
same
I,
way where it's
I
like,
kind of feel you. Yeah. I wasn't
yeah,
like, I didn't have baby fever really ever. And I always like wanted to be a mom, but I think it was just sort of in the background. It's like, yeah, like one day that would be cool, I guess, that's
Yeah.
and then uh as I think it was when I turned, I feel like right when I hit 30, actually, I was like, I kind of got the bug. I was like, okay, wait a second. I got the baby fever a little bit. And then when, yeah, now that I have my own, I'm like, I totally understand now when people say like, all parents talk about is like kids, because I'm like, yeah, that's your whole
Yeah.
life. Like,
And if I'm
literally.
talking to a parent, I'm like, I don't want to be one of those, like, because I don't have a child yet. I
Hmm.
don't want to be one of those people who, like, is like, I don't want to hear about the child. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm like, that can be our entire conversation, and that's totally fine. I love
that's
hearing about it.
that's sweet of you. I feel
Yeah.
like not everyone is like that. I have to kind of
No,
gauge like,
definitely not. So
okay,
I
I feel
tell
like they're not
people,
trying to hear. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I tell people, I go, by the way, talk about your baby as much as you want because I want to
Oh,
hear about it.
I
Because
love
my
that. Yeah.
end goal in life, number one goal, like on my deathbed, I want to be able to say that I was a good father. So it's like, I
Oh,
just, that is like, it's just, I don't know. And it's just
that's
like
sweet.
increasingly more
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's that's amazing. Yeah, it's wild to feel like you're really leaving, like when you have a kid, it's like you're leaving something behind, like in this world.
yeah.
It's like that really is like this, like legacy. Like it's so wild. Like, everything just feels so big now, I think, and like purposeful. Not that it didn't before, but I think
In a
it's
different
just
way.
in a
Yeah.
different way. Yeah, it's like this separate thing. I'm like, whoa, like I brought you into the world. It's really wild.
When you take a photo with someone who is a parent, you're like, oh my gosh, their child might see this one day, like when they're 14 and be like, that was my mom back at this time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, it's like you are really kind of leaving this legacy. Like they're experiencing it in
yeah,
real time, but,
for sure.
but also it'll be like extra, like nostalgic for them because everything that happens in our formative years are just like, they
Mhm.
really, really take us back. And like, that's like kind of the most
Yeah.
important time.
You touched on something. I think of this album as almost like like me zooming into this very specific time of like having my first child. Like I'll never experience that again. And I was literally crying last night because it already feels like it's just going. So it's just like going so
Yeah.
fast and you can't stop it. And he just already looks like a human, like an actual person. Like you were just like a little blob. Like how do you have a little personality already? And so this album, I know I'm gonna look back on it and because it feels like almost like a snapshot of like
Yeah.
this was this time. And it's so specific and so like unique to this season. And I'm sure like maybe other parents can relate to what I'm saying, but just in general, I guess, just yeah, that feeling of like zooming into some like a very specific each song is kind of like zooming into a specific moment, I would say.
Mm.
And then yeah, expanding that. And
That's really beautiful.
yeah, so I think I'm gonna look back on this album. 'Cause, I mean, you haven't heard this yet, but he's all over the album. Like he starts the album, he ends the album. So I feel like I'm gonna be like an old lady and just be like bawling my eyes out when I play this one day. He's gonna be like a
Yeah,
30-year-old man.
I cry a lot more easily. Like I don't cry often for like real life
Yeah.
stuff, but like I cry a lot for like film and TV. Like that's really what brings it out of me.
Mm.
Like This Is Us. Oh my God,
Oh my gosh.
not one episode where I wasn't in tears. But recently there's this movie, The Sheep Detectives. I don't know if you've seen it, but like
I
I
haven't.
was a mess in the theater at every scene, and I'm so glad that everyone around me was like heaving because it like made me feel and it's so funny. It's such a funny movie and it's a good like murder mystery where where
Oh,
CGI sheep like solve
what?
the mystery. But it's also like it's about
Spoiler.
uh well, it's not a spoiler. It happens in the first like 2 minutes or something.
Okay.
Um but it's about like sheep solving their like shepherd's murder and like but it's
I
also like
cannot.
about life and like about memory and like Oh my gosh. If you watch it,
I'm
like you will be a puddle. I promise you.
okay. Okay,
So if you ever
I'm
need a
down.
good cry, The Sheep
The way that you
Detectives.
just explained it is really making me giggle, but I trust you.
It's very funny. It's very good.
It's
Okay.
about sheep detectives. Sheep detectives
Yes.
is a crazy title, but I'm into it. And they're trying to
Yeah.
solve their shepherd's murder. What is?
Yeah. Hugh Jackman is their shepherd.
Whoa, Hugh
And
Jackman is a
he
shepherd.
dies and but
Oh my gosh,
he reads them like murder mysteries all the time. So they're like so they love murder mysteries and then they're like
this is insane.
this is their own murder mystery. Anyway.
Okay,
Anyway.
I can't wait. I can't
Um
wait.
yes, you absolutely have to see it. Last question. I'm curious if you have at any point interest in a role on Broadway, and if so, what would convince you to consider that?
Ooh, you saved the Broadway question for last. I like it.
Yeah.
I love Broadway. I definitely have dabbled with the idea of being on Broadway. It's something on my bucket list for sure. And I think I'm just kind of like waiting for the right role. Yeah, I think
Is
I'm
there a
kind of,
role that like you would love to play if it were offered to
oh,
you?
I don't know. It's so hard. I feel like, to be honest, like the big dream would be to originate a role.
Yeah.
So like something that doesn't exist yet and to be like really involved in just, yeah, like developing that show, whether it's like the music or yeah, getting to play the lead, like I would love that. So to answer your question, yes, definitely want to do something on Broadway. Yeah, I think I'm being kind of particular and just like waiting to see. I want it to really like speak to me and be like, okay, this is it. Because if it's going to be like my debut, I want it to be like I want
Yeah.
it to make sense, you know? And I just have so much respect for the world of Broadway and how, I mean, gosh, I have JoJo, and well, we've talked about her so much on this episode already, but I've talked to her about it because she's like killing it in that world right now. Shoshana
She was gonna
Bean.
be on Chess, and then
Yeah.
it got canceled just yesterday or two
Wait,
days
I
ago.
didn't even see that. Oh, shoot. I need to see.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you're a mom. You just like
I was
don't see
planning to come into
anything.
the
What the
city
heck?
for it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I need to
Yeah.
hit her up now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like
Not me finding out
break the
on the
news to you.
podcast.
You'll be like,
Um,
"Hey, AJ told me."
dang it. Yeah, no, but she's just had some great I got to see her um do Broadway, and then I've had like some other really good friends. Shoshana Bean is obviously like
Yes.
icon, legend. So yeah, they make me excited to try it out. I mean, it's a grind. Like I feel like it's got to be even harder than touring, I think, because it's like you can't have like an off day, you know, like
Mhm.
you got to really like I don't know, like give people the same show like every time. So it excites me though. I think like it feels like a fun, like it feels like a challenge that I will have to really prepare for and like that excites me though to try it out. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I
will
could
see.
totally see like Sherry and Rock of Ages or something where it's like
Ooh,
really uses like the full range. Ugh, I
yeah,
would just
yeah.
love that. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I
Of course.
am so excited to listen to the album right after this, having
Yay.
just talked about it with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And I will say that the two singles, oh, we didn't get to talk about the two singles, but the two singles there have been such growers for me, right?
Oh,
Like
nice.
they're
Yeah.
like a little understated,
Yeah.
which I thought was an interesting direction because I like wasn't expecting it, and then I just like they're constantly in my head.
Yes.
Like I
That's
am like
great.
even now as we're talking, Dive is playing in my head, and I
Maybe yeah.
yes, I absolutely love it. And for some
Thank
reason,
you.
it like bounces back and forth with the bridge of it's a JoJo song of
I
all
love that we've literally mentioned her so many times on this. Shout out to JoJo. We love you, girl.
this time it goes into
Okay.
like the
Yes.
bridge into the this time bridge totally
Oh
works.
my gosh. I'm gonna go refresh
Next
my
house party, next time
memory.
you do
Yeah.
like
Little
the
DJ
house party
fun.
where you're doing like folded and risk it
Right.
all, and that was
Right.
awesome by the way.
Thank you.
Didn't get
Thank
to
you.
ask a question about that either, but I
That's
just
okay.
wanted to tell you that that was great. Okay,
Thank
well,
you
I
so
know you have
much.
tour rehearsals, so I don't want to keep you up, but
Yeah.
thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course.
I'll see you hopefully June 9th in Boston.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yeah, that'd be so fun. Thank you for chatting with me. It's always a pleasure. This is so much fun.
Of course. Well, congrats on the album, congrats on the baby, and
Thank you.
hopefully everything goes your way with the release.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tori, for joining me, and thank you to Noah for the theme music. Thank you to Chris for editing this episode. And this podcast and all of us here at Popheads are in support of the fight for trans rights. You can check the link in the episode description if you're interested in donating or learning more. Bye, y'all.